every client that walks in these doors or reaches us via the, Instagram or Facebook, if they are in front of me, they want it because I am so passionate, and the passion it just, everybody needs it. If you need air, you need Purium. And I mean that when I'm passionate about something. And honestly, people trust, if they trust me. They've seen me here, they've seen me online, and they trust me. And I've been very careful with what I will promote. I didn't bring much into Luxology because I didn't feel it was healthy. So that for me that's how I grew. I just told everybody, and then it's easy. Once they're on it, they feel amazing. And of course they're going to stay on it. That's another thing I would say is, it takes a lot to get that customer to start, but it's so important to stay in communication with them and be their support, because you want them for life, because why would they not want to be on it? So that's kind of that's my philosophy.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm so excited for you and your future, and that you always have this backup plan. You always have this plan B, and hopefully it will become your plan A eventually, like it has for many of us. But thank you so much for sharing your story today. And if we have time at the end, we'll open it up for questions. Thank you, Lisa. So we have one. Yeah. So we have one more guest, and she's an incredible leader in our community. She's a mother of 5. She's currently raising 2 of her grandchildren. She used to be a wedding planner, and in 2020, her business shut down. So she owned a wedding planning company, which was in person. And as many of us know, so many of those businesses had to shut down during that time. And so she was introduced to Purium, which at the time she didn't have a plan B, and she was really looking for something that could help her to create an income online, which she hadn't done in the past. And she was introduced to Purium that really impacted her life. And now she's an incredible leader in our community. She's currently a Red Diamond. She also has a wellness center, Rose Tree Wellness, and is a regenerative health practitioner. So I'd love to welcome you on, Jen Rawson.
Thank you so much for having me. Gosh, there's just so much to share. I think that, the most amazing thing that I've ever done is say yes to Purium. So I said yes at the very end of COVID, well, 2020, the COVID year, the year we don't want to talk about. But I was this person that was like rose-colored glasses, like everything's going to work out. But at the end of 2020, I was like a shell of a human. I couldn't pay my mortgage. My business was shut down, like you said. And I was looking for a solution, not only for my own health, but for my family, for my friends, because everyone was suffering so badly with COVID and many other ailments. My mom was in the hospital, and just, it just felt like doom and gloom, everywhere you looked. And when I was introduced to this, I said yes because of the health benefits, 100%. But when I first started, I cannot help but share. So I literally, day 3 was like, what is in my body? I have to tell every single human about this. I used to get shooting nerve pain in my body. That was debilitating. And the 3rd day, 6th day, all of that went away. And so I was kind of shouting it from the rooftops, and I just could not even believe what I had found. And I quickly grew this business. And what I love, the biggest difference for me is that I was building an online platform, which I hadn't built before. So as a wedding planner, you can imagine how much waste there is, because this is about sustainability. But because you had asked me, a couple of questions about that prior to this call, like, what is the biggest difference? And honestly, the biggest difference for me was like, I used to print so much paper, because every wedding just needed so much stuff printed out. And then even just being, in one place at one time, I'm only one person, so I can only do so many weddings at a time. And then even at the actual wedding, you guys, there's so much waste for events. I mean, I would order gobs of food that would just be in the wastebasket after. I mean, just so much waste. They would, even favors and all these other things that I would order for these luxury weddings are just in the trash. And I didn't even realize I was contributing to so much waste on the planet. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't this person that cared really much about the earth before. I mean, I was a wedding planner. I was like, okay, well, this is what I do. And when I started with Purium, I started realizing how important it is to be sustainable and to bring things online and to stop printing everything. And, I can take notes on my phone. I can do all of these things. And this really helped me be so much more efficient as well with my time. And I'm a very business-minded person, very similar to Lisa. It took me a minute to kind of flip the switch and kind of figure out like, oh, this is like a business I can really build online and create a secondary income for my family. Within like 1 month, I made at the same income I did that took me at least 3 years to build full income in my wedding planning business. So I was like, what the heck? So then my second month, I doubled my full-time income. And then my third, I just kept going. And I'm like, hello, this is obviously the business of the future. Like, I just was so passionate, very similar to Lisa. Like, when you are passionate about something, passionate about the food that you're eating and the quality of the food and the company you serve, it is just easy to talk to people. It's easy to share that fire. It's easy to share a passion. And people just wanted to get in with that passion. And it has really transformed my life in so many different areas. I used to drive all over the metro areas. I mean, I used gas like nobody's business. Literally, I was like, I put so many miles on my car because I'm going to this place to meet with this client, going to this venue and and now I've switched everything over because I make 5 times the amount of money and I work like an hour or 2 a day, if that, on Purium. And I'm like, well, I'm working less, putting in less hours, not on my car, being around my family. I've had to, the last, few months, it's like I've had a lot going on in my family. It has been kind of one of the hardest times in my family. We've taken in our grandkids and we're trying to support my stepdaughter. And it's been emotionally, physically just draining on my family. And I've had to take a moment for myself and my kids and my family. And the beautiful sustainability of this business is that it's okay. Like, I didn't lose everything. Like, when you stop working for a 9 to 5, you don't continue to make money. If you stop working as a wedding planner, I don't make the money. Like, I couldn't stop working if I was continuing to do events. And so I had to basically pull way back, stop working this beautiful business because of where I'm at. I've had to put a lot of time and energy into my children and my grandchildren. And this business has held me up. My team has held me up. And that's the beautiful part of building a strong foundation with Purium, is that when moments like this come up, it's okay. You've built a team that can rally around you. And, I'm still working here and there, of course, as much as I can, but it's just such a beautiful thing that life happens, things happen. And when you have something like this that is sustainable, that residual income lifts you up in time of need. And then when you are ready to run, it's going to even help you more, of course, as you work more and give it more, energy. So I think I covered everything of my story, but if you have any other questions, I'm happy to go into more detail.
Absolutely. I love hearing your story. It's so impactful. And you shared so many golden nuggets just from being able to, not from Lisa's story, not having to carry inventory, to your story of, being able to take this time off now that you've built it. And, there's so many great tips here within, what you've both shared. And Yeah. So how do you see this? Like you have a team, a thriving team that's growing, and you're currently able to take this time off. I know you just went to Mexico with your family and, you're raising your grandchildren. I mean, that is just incredible to have that type of income that is residual continually coming in no matter what. And even like you said, when life circumstances come up, which we never know when something's going to happen, it's the unforeseen. And so I love that you shared that. It's like you just never know when something might happen, and you need to take time to focus on your family, on your children, on your grandchildren, and really have that time, and that you only have to work 1 or 2 hours a day and tune in with your team and do a little bit of coaching and help the team members that are needing some support. And other than that, you can really sit back and take a moment for yourself to take a couple deep breaths. So I love everything that you shared. And definitely, what would be like your few tips that you would share with the community of what has really impacted your business, or what you would suggest for others that are maybe feeling a little bit stuck or that are currently still in the building stages? What tips could you leave with them?
Yeah, thank you. For sure. This community is so awesome. I would say if you are feeling stuck, you just have to action. Action kills fear. Honestly, the reason why we're stuck is because we're in our head. We're just in our head about reaching out or talking to people. And, I think people are like, well, where do you get your confidence from? And it's like, sometimes in the beginning, you have to steal your confidence from someone else. If you don't know how to talk or what to say or how to share it, it's like you just ask your upline or ask somebody that knows more than you. And failure is our biggest teacher. It's okay to fail. It's actually amazing. It's amazing to fail. Do you know how many times I failed? Countless times. And I think that failing forward is a thing. I even within my wedding planning company, I bring on people that don't know what the heck they're doing. It's like, of course I'm way better at this than you. I've been doing it for 15 years. How do I teach someone to be an expert when they're brand new? It's like, you just start. You just do it afraid. And I would say, if you are feeling stuck, we all get stuck. I'm 2 years into this. It's like, okay, who am I going to reach out to today? It's like every day is a new day, a new chance to reach out to new people. If you are in your home, go to a coffee shop, go to a different place, go hang out at a different gym, go work from somewhere else. Literally, I sat down in a coffee shop today and I was like, do you mind if I sit here? And she's like, yeah, but what are you working on? And I just started a conversation with like 5 people who were sitting around me, because they just asked me what I was doing there. So I mean, it just falls into your lap, these new people and new faces. If you feel like you have a small community or people that you've already talked to your 10 friends or whatever, and they're not ready, well, make new friends. Like there's always people around you. There's billions of people on this planet. On Instagram, find the person that, has the same hashtags as you, or like my Instagram is Clean Living Jen. And when I look up at Clean Living, do you know how many other people have Clean Living in their thing? Then I just go to their pages and I was like, oh my gosh, we have the same stuff in common, and you're a mom too. And I love that. And just start making friends on the internet. Like, if they're crazy, you can block them. If they're awesome, then you just made a new friend. And don't be afraid to just start talking about what you're passionate about. It's okay if they're not ready. And I love that Dave Sandoval has said, like, if they still want to drink their Coke, that's their business. It's okay. Like, let them do them. If they're not ready, that's okay. And, it just takes the pressure off. It's not about you. Like if they're saying no, it's not about you. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. And they're going to come eventually. They're going to come. They're going to not feel good. And they're going to remember that you feel awesome every day. So
Absolutely. Oh, I love everything that you shared. Such great tips. And in this business, I often say we're professional friend makers. If we don't feel like we have a great network or we don't have any friends that are ready or can afford the products that we have, then go make new friends. And like you said, we can find friends online with, common hashtags. We can go to coffee shops, gyms, so all these places. And so many people have need exactly what we have. And like I love that what you shared earlier in your story, as a wedding planner, you weren't even really aware of the type of waste that you were impacting with that business until you became a part of this community and your mindset started to change, right? Certain ideals started to change where you're like, oh wow, I didn't even realize I'm creating so much waste and it's not good for the planet. And now that you're in Purium and we've transitioned out of plastic packaging and these things have become a part of your awareness and a part of what we have with our sustainability. And so I love how we can actually help transition so many people from the mainstream lifestyle of not really caring or even knowing that they're having such a huge impact on the planet to actually caring and wanting to make a difference. And so that was kind of my aha moment. I really love that you kind of shared that transition because it's so true. We can make a bigger impact if we can help more people have the realization, have the awakening, and have the desire to make better choices